I go through the actual proclamation, I'd like to just briefly read out our new Poet Laureate's bio, and so bear with me as I do that. So Carolyn Zaikowski is a poet, a fiction writer, an essayist, and a death doula. She has been involved in the writing and activist communities of the Connecticut River Valley since 2007. She is the author of the experimental prose poetry novel In a Dream, I Dance by Myself, and I Collapse. Her poetry, fiction, essays, and cross-genre work have appeared widely in such publications as The Washington Post, Alaska Quarterly Review, Everyday Feminism, Diagram, West Branch, Denver Quarterly, Sixth Finch, The Rumpus, and Nebula, a journal of multidisciplinary scholarship. Carolyn holds an MFA in creative writing from Naropa University's Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics, where she studied trauma and narrative, the subversion of Western literary genre constructs, and the roles that poetry and storytelling play in anti-fascist, anti-colonialist, and feminist resistance. Yes, that is true. Carolyn teaches English and creative writing classes across the region. She has also taught ESOL and feminist studies to teenage political exiles at the Thai-Burma border and to sex workers and sex trafficking victims in Kolkata, India's red light districts. Additionally, she is a funeral celebrant and volunteer death doula, passionate about community death care and education. Wow. So clearly, very much worthy of this proclamation that I will read out now. So the city of Easthampton is proud to proclaim for the Poet Laureate 2025 to 2027, whereas Easthampton is a community known for the vitality of its arts and culture, and whereas poetry is an art form that provides pleasure and expression for citizens of Easthampton and the Pioneer Valley, and whereas today is the induction of the third Poet Laureate term in the city of Easthampton, and whereas a Poet Laureate is a symbol of the important role that the arts play in the lives of our community members, and whereas the position of Easthampton Poet Laureate honors an outstanding poet whose work has enriched the Easthampton community. Therefore, I, Felicia Jadzak, on behalf of Nicole LaChapelle, Mayor of Easthampton, do hereby proclaim Carolyn Zaikowski, Poet Laureate in the city of Easthampton, and I urge all citizens to join in the enjoyment of Carolyn's poetry and the celebration of the artistic heritage of our community. This is presented to Carolyn on the 26th day of April, 2025. This 2-year term will last until April 2027, as April is formally acknowledged and celebrated as Poetry Month in the city of Easthampton. There's a gold seal on it. I got a gold seal. My inner child is like, so delighted by that. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't want to do the thing of like in the Oscars where they shut you off with the music for saying too much stuff, but I do have to say how I am seriously humbled and seriously tickled to be here today. To have been asked to do this. And I want to thank Easthampton City Arts in Pascagoula, Carolyn C. Confluence, a conspiracy of Carolyn's, the selection committee, and so many amazing writing organizations. Actually, I want to give a shout out to Pioneer Valley Writers Workshop, the Straw Dogs, just so many. I have to give a shout out to Jewish Voices for Peace and Valley Families for Palestine and all of my comrades in that realm. Just my friends, all my beautiful friends and students, and just, my mom, out of whom I came, is here. My stepfather who died 2 months ago. I think that he is here as well. Oh. Sorry, I'm already crying. Okay, calm down, Carolyn. And just all the fellow Free Flag Flyers here. Keep flying them.
So, oh, and all the readers, obviously, that was incredible. So I'm just gonna say some words, and I'll read some poems. So what I'd first like to say to meet this moment is that creative words are something fascists hate.
Yeah.
They kind of have to hate them. Fascists and capitalists and colonialists and patriarchs and white supremacists. Who else can we put on this list? Transphobes, apartheidists, all authoritarians hate poetry, even if they pretend that they don't. They hate creativity because they don't want us to radically imagine new worlds. So there is a reason why the poets, the artists, the musicians, and the intellectuals are among the first to be sent to the killing fields, the concentration camps, the open-air prisons. It's because true creativity is inherently the opposite of fascism. Fascism requires that we lack imagination, that we stop believing in the power of imagination to build endless possibilities for worlds that aren't defined by oppression and hierarchy and false binaries, the war machine, and power over instead of power with and power to. Please, I'm literally begging you, please always remember that one of the biggest blind spots of fascists and their friends is that they are incredibly, incredibly boring at their core.
Yes.
They have to be. They actively squash in themselves and their subjects the vitality of creativity to a degree that would be comical if it were not so grotesque, loveless, and crazy making.
Yeah.
So we can and we have to outnumber them with our creativity and our words right now. It already feels like it's getting too late. There's no time for wavering. Creativity is literally life itself.
Yeah.
Now is when we have to be brave, to take risks, and stop worrying about whether fascists and their friends approve of us. If we have some degree of genuine privilege, then silence is complicity. Silence is violence. If we have comfort, we have to give it away and be brave and call it out clearly, unabashedly, with our words, while protecting the less powerful among us with the blankets and pillows of community and radical friendship.
Oh, wow.
In the words of Salman Rushdie, a poem cannot stop a bullet, a novel can't defuse a bomb, but we are not helpless. We can sing the truth and name the liars.
Yeah.
Oppressive systems are designed in part to make us unlearn that ancient birthright of creativity that we're born with. That's because creativity itself is the essence of hope, compassionate witnessing, love, and liberation. So, write badly if you must. If you're my student, you've heard me say that 7,000 times. Be bold, be messy, be shaky, be imperfect. It doesn't matter. Just create. Use your words. Say words at fascism. In doing so, you will chip away at each little fascist from the very insides of their mitochondria, and their mitochondria's fascist little boring silly mini mitochondrias before they even notice it, and you will inspire others to do so, and we will keep us safe by creating more and more room for a critical mass. So, just to reiterate, I want to shout from the rooftops to all of you, write, create, please, use your words, stay weird, stay true, destroy fascism with poetry and friendship and radical imagination. In the words of the anarchist anthropologist David Graeber, direct action is ultimately the defiant insistence on acting as if one is already free.
Wow.
Yeah, David Graeber. Okay. So I'm just going to read some poems. This poem is called What We Talk About When We Talk About Birds. The dying woman and I watched birds out the window, 8 birds together on one cold feeder in March. I've never known the names of birds, I said. The ice is water now, she said, meaning the puddle. I said, I've never understood how birds keep warm in winter. She said she didn't know either, but it went unspoken that we wouldn't dare Google. Then she read me her poem about birds, apologizing the whole time for her breath, interrupting her own cherished lines. Keep going, I said. She said, but you have to remember to keep the feeders full. Okay, I promise, I said. Those feeders there, those ones? Yes, promise? This poem is called Small Neck of God, and it is about Gaza. Just gonna move this. Take this river from my palm, 2 million pouched middles of children. Oh, the ward-worn necks of gods and ghosts. To the mortar they will go. At the mortar I will wait. It is a dust's holy nest. Take this river from my palm, 16 billion lungs. I will wait for you. 8 billion softly biled livers, 8 billion tiny throats filled with mortar and its brother, dust. In this mannish cave, the small neck of God strains to seize the stuff orphans are made from. Throats of hungry ghosts try to eat, are vexed. 16 billion lungs down here in the care of this dusty blood's script. I will wait as the small nests of poppy and thyme twist around us, covered in 8 billion spires of vespertine rubble. This poem is called Death Is No. Death's no shade or hue. I know because I've looked, and light particles never follow behind. And death's no shape nor box. I know because I've looked, and they're not there. All the shapes and boxes are just glancing out. They're all swiftly birthed, going, done. And death is no sound. No, not a cosmic howl, nor moan, nor gripe, nor sob. And in death's spine, no bone lays itself down. In death's liver, no clots tangle or bulge. Perhaps in death, there is a breath and a wind, but there's no lung. I know because I've gasped and whispered enough to dissolve my body into the wide drift of all the slices I swore had made me. This who lives and dies at the meeting place made of wombs, me. And death's not represented by a texture either, not a bumpy road, nor a silk, nor a pockmark, tire tread, nor a fine point, nor a crux in dust, nor a wooden cross towering. I know because I've glided my fingers across all manner of surface and across my bent knees too, knee to earth, palm to wrist, wrist to sand, forehead down, asking as I floated there in the holiness of space, in the onlyness of betweens, where you were, then weren't, as in betwixt, as in death. Death, it's no sound. Death's no thing rippling through a wave whose chord is seeking it. Death is no chord, and death, it's certainly no wave. I know because I've listened close and I've listened hard, and if death is at all, then death is an arm outstretched at the ocean as I clutch the hand of the who dies. My mother, this womb, waits at the water's water. My father at the shore's shore, where molecules cross, is his own cross. In this meeting place made of wombs, as the ocean spreads, death crows and crowns, but still, death is no. Death is no. Death goes, and my mother she crosses over, and my father he hands the shore to her. This is called The Bodies. The bodied, the bodiless, the bodies and the bodiless. Oh, the bodied, oh, the bodied, oh, the words. My husband, my wife, words. My body, my lack, oh, lack, oh, lack. Words, my animal, oh, the. This poem is called Stay, and I don't know if anybody's ever read this book, but this was inspired by the poet and historian Jennifer Michael Hecht wrote a book called Stay, A History of Suicide and the Philosophies Against It. It's a really amazing book. So this poem is dedicated to those of us who ever need a poem like this. Stay with a sigh to see why you must. Stay to bring a wave to shore so your past can break. Stay because I need you to love me more. Stay to complete and heal your habits. Stay to open the gift and quietly unlock the gate. Stay for the empty tar pit and the war on the bridge. Stay to help us, we need you. Stay because it's cold and getting late. Stay to prove you are lost because then I can find you. Stay for everything strange, like crying and staying and eating. Stay to eat at my table and to eat at your own table. Stay for this web, an offering. You can't take it with you. Stay for the monster in the field. Stay with a groan for the shadow and its ache. Stay for your memories of trusting a poet. Stay for the silence and despair. Yes, this is my heartfelt invitation. Stay because you're both a bastard and a heavenly messenger. Stay for no discernible reason other than that it's not the same as going. Stay for your sensual suffering, your moldy bread. Stay for your misguided orgasm, your boredom, your pleasure. Stay for your tea and soup, even if lukewarm. Stay for colors and for your favorite song on repeat. Stay for the child on the brink and the woman on the hill. Stay because you're both the island and the ocean. Stay because this moment you're rubbish, but in the next you'll be a genius. Stay because you know it. Stay precisely because you're as mundane as a number. Stay for the fact of clocks and the fact of tides. Stay because this here station needs a guard. Stay because you're going to repeat anyway. Stay for sand, dirt, and ice. Stay for anything. Find something. Hold out your hands. Stay for discussions with animals. Hold out your hands. Stay because you need to help the ghost rise up like a flame. I'm just going to read two more, and these both, some of you might have heard these before, but that's okay. So after the first election of he who shall not be named, Mr. Dump, someone say Voldemort. So after that, this sort of slew of incantations, spells, sort of secret instructions showed up and asked me to write them, so I did. Heed the call. So the first one's called Directions. It is a set of directions. It's in the chapbook. To the left, there's a wanting. To the right, there's a needing, and you'll find yourself arrested by the pull. Your object will go running toward the part of you that's something, and your forward-facing wave will lose its crown. Don't despair if music's over. Don't despair if sounds are weapons. Turn inside yourself to birth new chords. At the end of birds, there's nothing, so don't complicate things that way. Swim away if you can't figure out the code. By the final tides, a blessing, in the name of those who've left us, then eternity gets filtered through a cave. This is the last one. This one's slightly longer. This is a dispatch that I received from some force in the cosmos. It's called Dispatch. Eternity gets filtered through a grave. Then the ghosts won't challenge us no more. They say we always tried to tell the truth. They say we caught you gently as you sank. They say we held you quietly with love. They say, repeat me, repeat me. Eternity gets filtered through a grain. Now you'll never be alone again. The width of you is to be bravely filled. All it takes is one glimpse of this bowl. All it takes is one glimpse of this stem. This grain, when attended to, creates you, completes you against odds and advice. Eternity gets filtered through an eye. For just one moment, I know you again. Weeping, I shall drench your head in rain. Wash away your death with April floods. Watch your memory rise brave like a flame. Warn you not to drown between your dreams in that proud space of tellings of your dreams. Eternity gets filtered through a dream that knows itself whenever it's alone. I'm your ghost as much as you are mine. We're such real timeless packets of each other. This fact is as solid as my palm. This fact is as righteous as our dream. Eternity gets filtered through a wave. I'm never gonna go downstream again. Time to go haunt history like it haunts you. Time for active loathing of this dust. Time to tame it till it lets you rise. Straight through a lifetime's worth of dust I'll take you, till you and history see each other rightly in the sun. Eternity gets filtered through a well. Watery ghosts of words ring crudely out. At the edge of language and its silent burials, the echoes of a past we tried to tell clutch their drops so we don't drown again. Clutch their drops till bodies manifest. Eternity gets filtered through a pyre that lights itself whenever ghosts get old. No, I'm not ever gonna starve again. I see your molten life and raise you mine. Now you'll never die in view of birds. Now you'll never die because of men. Eternity gets filtered through a stain. I'm not gonna fret about stains no more. In my heart, 100 stains of you repeat. I'll hold them close whenever I'm alone. I'll hold them close whenever I am born.